Welcome to this demonstration on Spark Request, a research transaction management system. Spark Request is designed to streamline the processes for budgeting and conducting research. Within Spark Request, study teams can organize protocols, request services, gather cost information, and communicate with service providers. In this demonstration, we will go through the different features of SPARCDashboard in depth and show how they can be used to organize resources needed for your project or study. The Spark Dashboard is where you will find all of the protocols that you have been granted access to in Spark. You can also create new projects or studies from your Spark dashboard. The navigation bar across the top can be used to route to different Spark modules based on which ones you have access to. Using the navigation buttons, you can check the latest Spark announcements and news, view upcoming events, edit your profile information, and check notifications or log out of Spark Dashboard. When you first log into your Spark Dashboard, a list of all protocols for which you are listed as an authorized user will populate in the Protocols table. This list of studies and projects can be sorted by the arrows on the header row. This table can be further filtered by searching for an authorized user, PI, Spark ID, Pro number, RMID, or short or long title. You can further filter using 4 additional protocol filters. These include request status, organization, request owner, and archived protocols. Admin users have an additional filter called My Admin Protocols. These filter combinations can be saved as a favorite, so they may be used again at a later time with the click of one button. You may create a new study or project by selecting the green Start a New Protocol button and selecting either New Study or New Project. To determine whether you should create a project or study, please refer to our Project versus Study training video located at the web address on the screen. Using the gray Export button at the top of the Protocols table, you can export your list of studies from this page. To see a quick view of the requests that exist on a given protocol, click the respective Requests button. Once you have identified the project or study by using the filters or scrolling, select the respective protocol link to access additional information in your Spark dashboard. Once inside a project or study protocol, you will see several tables regarding your project or study. These include Summary, Authorized Users, and Milestones. Other tables that exist inside a protocol include Calendar Structure if the study has clinical services, Requests, Documents, and a Forms table if applicable. The Summary table contains the basic information about your study, such as Research Master ID, Study Title, Short Title, Sponsor Name, and Funding Source. This table also has 4 buttons along the header that allow you to add protocol level notes, view or edit the study information, and archive or unarchive the study. The protocol level notes are viewable to anybody that has access to the study, including authorized study team users, super users, and service providers. Only archive your protocol if all service requests are completed and there won't be new requests, because the archive button will archive the study or project for all users on this protocol. The Authorized Users table contains all members of the study team who should have access to this protocol. Only the primary PI is required, and additional team members can be added as appropriate. By clicking the green Add an Authorized User button, additional users can be added. If the user profile already exists in Spark, their credentials, institution, college, department, division, and phone number will populate. Please edit as necessary, and it will retain for future studies. If the user is not already in Spark, you must fill in their information and select their study role and Spark proxy rights. There are three types of proxy rights for authorized users. Authorize or change study charges is assigned to users who are allowed to make changes in Spark request. View rights is assigned to those who should have view-only access. And member-only is assigned to those who are part of the study and do not need access. Be sure to save your update. You can add or delete users anytime using the Edit and Delete columns in the Authorized Users table. Anytime a user is added or deleted, an email is sent to all authorized users on the study. Delete users cautiously because deletions cannot be undone. If you need to delete more than one user at a time, you can hold down any of the delete buttons to trigger the multi-section checkboxes. This functionality allows you to batch delete users, and only one email will be sent rather than sending an email for each user being removed. The only required fields in the milestones section are the estimated start and end dates of the study. If a study is industry sponsored and has clinical services, additional fields will show up in the milestones table, such as the initial budget sponsor date, as well as their initial amount per patient and initial site level amount offered. After negotiations, you can fill in the date the budget was agreed upon, as well as the agreed upon per patient and site level amounts to compare against the sponsor's initial offer. SPARCDashboard is used to contain all information for a particular study or project and can be used to submit services to help the study startup process. If there are any clinical services added to the study, a calendar structure table will display under the milestones table. This table shows the structure of the calendar, such as arms, subjects for each arm, and number of visits. The next table on the Spark dashboard is the Requests table. The Requests table contains each service request that has been added to a protocol. Across the top of the table, the most recent date on which a service request was submitted will display next to the request's label. There are also 4 buttons across the top that allow you to view consolidated request, export consolidated request, view the coverage analysis report, or view the cost analysis report. You can add or edit any services in your requests table by clicking the green Add Modify Requests button. This button takes you back to the Spark Request main page where you can add additional services to your shopping cart. Please be aware not to delete services in your shopping cart that have already been submitted. The Requests table also reveals the owner and status of each service request you have submitted. The owner column shows you who is currently working on that request and whom to contact if you have any questions. The status shows what status each request is in. For example, if a request is completed, it will show complete, withdrawn, or invoiced, and if the status is in awaiting request or response, it means the request is awaiting study team action to move the request forward. The Send Notification button generates a drop-down of all authorized users and all service providers for that request, and also indicates the requester and owner names. These notifications send emails to the recipient and can be a valuable way to communicate about a service request. If there are any forms that need to be filled out for a service to be completed, it will display in a column with a red Complete Forms button. Once you hit Complete Form, the form will pop up in a separate window and may have multiple choice, checkbox, or free text field answers. The questions with an asterisk are required to submit the form. Once you have answered all questions, click the Submit button in the bottom of the form. Once the form has been completed, it will no longer show up in red on the Requests table. A Form Submissions table will appear below the Documents table. From this table, you will have the option to view, edit, or delete all submitted forms. The Documents table is below the Requests table on your Spark dashboard, and it displays all documents that have been uploaded in the protocol. The left link allows you to view the document, while the action buttons allow you to edit or delete documents from this table. You can also click the green Add Document button to add a new document. When adding a document, you are required to select a document type and upload the file. You also have the option to select who has access to the document if it contains sensitive information. Thank you for watching this tutorial on SPARCDashboard. For additional information, please visit our Spark Wiki at the address on the screen. For questions or concerns, please email sparkrequest@musc.edu or call the Success Center at 843-792-8300 and choose option number 2 for Spark.